Hey guys, what's up? Power Up Boxing here. So, Manny Pacquiao puts on a great performance against Timothy Bradley in the third fight. This might be Pacquiao's last fight that we see him in. And if it is his last fight, he, uh, he definitely put on a good performance and he definitely went out in a good way because not many fighters, I would say a lot of fighters kind of stick around and they go out maybe not on a good performance like this one, really. But we don't know if he's done yet. He said though he's gonna retire to see how it is first. He told Max Kellerman in the post interview to see how it feels, and then he'll see how retired life feels, and then he'll make a decision if he'll stay permanently retired. That's what I got from what he said, and yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I thought Timothy Bradley was having success in the early rounds, just like this in the second fight they had. He was having success, but that's because both fighters maybe were kind of they were very what do you call it? They're both highly skilled fighters, so they're both like waiting and waiting and just feeling each other out for a lot of the first couple rounds. So they were very highly skilled and kind of waiting on the other guy to make the mistake first, kind of thing. But Timothy Bradley was throwing a lot of punches that were hitting Manny Pacquiao's guard. So Manny Pacquiao was caught, like I would say, like a lot of Timothy Bradley's punches were getting caught by Manny Pacquiao on the guard. I think Manny Pacquiao's defense is very good, and it's very underrated, and it just shows you how good defensively he is when he wants to be. Because really, it's we think of his offense obviously, but if you look at even the Floyd Mayweather fight, that you've seen how highly, like, both guys, Pacquiao and Mayweather, were catching a lot of their own punch, like a lot of the punches from both of them were catching each other's punches, and it was a very tactical fight, Pacquiao versus Mayweather. It was a close fight, tactical, because both guys were so highly skilled at boxing. So I thought Pacquiao beat Mayweather. Thought it was a close fight though, and he beat him with one arm, and he beat him without IV. But I thought, yeah, it was close. I had Pacquiao winning by 2 points. So, but anyway, let's get back to Pacquiao Bradley 3. We've seen Pacquiao's defensive skills on display here. He was catching a lot of punches perfectly. It seemed the one thing I caught is Pacquiao has really tightened up his defense for catching the right hand of the opponent, the straight right. He has developed the defense to block that very well on his guard, I noticed. Ever since the Marquez knockout, Pacquiao has been a smarter fighter. You could say he's more cautious, but I think as the fights went on, like Brandon Rios, obviously he didn't have to be that cautious because he was like way too fast for Brandon Rios. But when you saw him fight Timothy Bradley the second time, he was more cautious, and he wasn't as aggressive as he was in the. I guess he was aggressive in spots, but not like the first fight. He was more relaxed, and he was more like he wasn't as cautious, and that's because I think the Marquez knockout made him more cautious because he hadn't been felt vulnerable and so long in a fight that he forgot that he could get knocked out. So, but anyway, in this fight, it wasn't so much cautious. It was more smart. As I think as the fights go on, as he gets further and further from the Marquez KO, he's becoming more confident and more aggressive again. Like I said, he didn't lose the aggressiveness after he got knocked out Marquez. But I think he was more cautious for the first. Like Brandon Rios, he was just way too fast. But I think the second Timothy Bradley fight, you seen he was a little more cautious of getting too aggressive. In this fight, it seemed like he got more confident in being aggressive, but he did it in a very smart way. He has become very Pacquiao has become very smart with his attack. He has become he's an intelligent boxer, I gotta say. Like, this performance was great. Not like his feint, his experience, his skill level is pretty high, and the Marquez KO really did teach him something, because you've seen his defense and his counterpunching skills have really improved. Like, he sets up the stuff so well, and he blocks the punches, and his defense has tightened up, and that's what I've noticed since the Marquez KO. He's becoming smarter, and like I said, each fight, like when I say he was first cautious, he was more, you could say, he seemed like he was I would say maybe a little gun shy in the Timothy Bradley 2 fight, maybe because the Marquez KO maybe was, but it's hard to say. Maybe he was just playing it really smart. But in this fight, you could see in the Algieri fight, in the Mayweather fight, he's not gun shy. He's just the smarter now. He's using his aggressiveness very in a smart way, and I think he was. I think he could have KO'd Tim Bradley. He could have stopped him, but Timothy Bradley's a very highly skilled guy, and it's hard to stop someone at this top level, especially a guy like Timothy Bradley. The guy's got a good chin, and the guy has an iron will, and the guy's in tremendous shape. So, but if you looked at like the 12th round, like when Timothy Bradley got really aggressive in the last 30 seconds, he started getting, even though Pacquiao was going on the ropes, he was landing heavy shots on Timothy Bradley. So I think if Bradley was aggressive like that more, Pacquiao maybe could have stopped him, but Pacquiao was Bradley was kind of keeping smart too, keeping away, so it's hard to KO someone like with that kind of strategy. And plus, like I said, Timothy Bradley's hard to KO, just his chin and his will as well, not just the strategy he was using when he's moving a lot. So, but yeah, even like I said, even when he did have Pacquiao on the ropes, like in the final minute of like round 12, and when he did when he had his moments against Pacquiao and he was put Pacquiao on the ropes, Pacquiao was still in control, though. I still felt like, even though Timothy Bradley was having his moment, Pacquiao was kind of just waiting until the moment Timothy Bradley stopped throwing, and then he would unleash his onslaught of punches. He would time it when Timothy Bradley was done throwing at the right time and land his counter shot. So I didn't think Pacquiao was in trouble at all. Timothy Bradley landed good shots, though. Throughout the fight, he landed some decent shots. Good left hooks, good straight rights. That's what I remember. Some good body shots he landed on Pacquiao, too. But, like I said, when he got Pacquiao, especially in the 12th round, when he had him going on the ropes, I still felt Pacquiao was in control. He's just waiting until Timothy Bradley was done throwing. Because when a guy's throwing like that, it's hard to, charging like that, it's hard to start throwing. Like, you don't want to start throwing right away because you could get caught. You want to wait until it's over or time it in between. And Pacquiao, I felt like he wasn't in a vulnerable state. He was in control the whole time. He was just waiting until Timothy Bradley was done his thing, and wait until he could get his punches off, and we've seen that. Bradley ate a lot of shots in the last 30 seconds of the 12th round there. So, yeah, when Bradley had his moments, but I still felt Pacquiao was in control even in those moments. He wasn't in a vulnerable state. He wasn't too. He maybe got buzzed a couple times by those shots though, because he did say when he did get hit one time. I remember he did say something to Bradley, so maybe he was acknowledging he got hurt there, but nothing like he didn't get really rocked at all big time like where he was hurt at all like big like you maybe like I said maybe he got buzzed a bit, but anyway, yeah, I thought Pacquiao was in control though. Always uh, he wasn't in a vulnerable state even when Bradley was landing, had those exchanges, and he when he put Pacquiao on the ropes. But what I gotta say is Pacquiao's performance was pretty good. It was a great performance after the long layoff. So he was telling the truth, saying he felt like he was starting his career again because he felt he put on a very good show. He said he was going to be more aggressive, and he was. He said he was going to put more action and go for the KO, and it looked like he was doing that. So number one thing I got from this is Pacquiao's skill level is like you can't get any better than that. His defense is amazing too. Catching the punches is great. His like I said, his feints, his defense, all that was just really on point. We all know his explosiveness. That was already one of his traits that everyone always acknowledges. But his defense and his skill level is just, I think it's underrated. Like his skill and his defense is very good. And when I mean skill level, it's just he knows what to do in every situation. He's technically sound, and that's what people don't really talk about that enough with Pacquiao being technically sound. Like he is very good boxer. He's not just a good fighter. He's not just a great fighter. He's a great boxer. He's actually like his technical boxing skills that's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, just he looks sharp tonight. That's all I gotta say. Pacquiao looked sharp. He looked focused. Bradley looked like he was. He looked good at the start of the fight, but then he started losing confidence. He started getting frustrated. You could see it in his eyes. You could see it at the end of each round. He would hit his gloves together and look disappointed. And I think Teddy Atlas was telling him very good advice, I thought, for the first, when things weren't going Timothy Bradley's way. But then eventually it seemed like Teddy Atlas was kind of losing confidence too. Not just Bradley, but Teddy Atlas was losing confidence the way he was talking to Bradley. But, I thought Teddy Atlas did a good job, like, for the advice he was giving anyway at the start. But then he started, like I said, losing confidence and stuff like that. So, one bad advice obviously was when he said, well, some people may say it's okay advice, but when he said you need to come through the side door, not the front door, he didn't really specify on that. But maybe maybe they did that, like they went over that before, what that means, and maybe Bradley did know what that means, or maybe like he just meant come in at a different way, a different angle, don't go straight forward. So maybe that was good advice, I don't know, but I think one of the rounds he didn't make it quite clear what he wanted Timothy Bradley to do. He seemed kind of frustrated, but he was telling good advice though in a lot of the rounds I heard. But yeah, like I said, I think Timothy Bradley, once he did start losing the rounds and he did start getting hit with the straight left a lot of the time, and Manny Pacquiao's right hook was being a good weapon in this fight. His jab was a good weapon. Setting up punches was his right hand was setting up good left power shots and combinations. And I think Timothy Bradley started losing confidence. He started thinking, because he really did think he was going to win this fight, obviously. He was confident he was going to win, no doubt. But when it started not going his way, he was disappointed because he had such high hopes. and confidence in himself. Once he started losing, he didn't think he was going to lose rounds like that. He thought he was going to dominate the fight, I think. And that's why he started losing the confidence. And Teddy Ellis didn't have enough time really with Timothy Bradley to gain, like, we don't know the relationship really. It seems good, but it's a short relationship so far. So we don't know how that's going to go, but we'll see. I thought Timothy Bradley did his best. He put on a good performance for... He tried and he put on a good performance, but he's just naturally not the better boxer, the gifted. Like, Manny Pacquiao is just naturally better. I think Bradley could try harder, train harder, but Pacquiao was just one step ahead because of his natural abilities. He doesn't even have to train as hard, maybe, and he would still, you know what I mean? He would still beat Bradley. Kind of like, if you know Dragon Ball Z, it's like Goku, Vegeta. Vegeta trains really hard. Like, you could say he trains harder than Goku, but he can't reach Goku's level, even though Goku seems like it comes more natural to him, you know what I mean? So that kind of sense, Manny Pacquiao's just, he has more experience too. And he has the explosiveness and the speed edge too. Very fast twitch muscles. But Timothy Bradley's the top pound for pound boxer. He's definitely, like, I still put him in top 10. He's definitely in the top 10 pound for pound on my list. He's only lost to one man, that's Manny Pacquiao. Lost him 3 times now, in my opinion. But he did get gifted one victory. He put in good showings, though. That's the thing. He put in good showings. He won. You could say, like, in my opinion, the first fight, I don't know why a lot of people are saying, like, that fight was close. That fight was not close. Pacquiao totally won that fight. He dominated that fight. I think I would give Timothy Bradley maybe a max of 4 rounds in that fight, and it was mostly the later rounds. It was after round 7 that I think Bradley started winning rounds in that fight. And I think he won 1 round, the first round, and then after round 7 he started winning more rounds, I'm pretty sure, the second half of the fight. So I think you could give him 4 rounds max, though. But I think that's kind of generous. I think you could give him 3, though. I definitely 3 rounds maybe in the first fight. Second fight, I thought it was closer. Haven't watched that one in a while. I did watch the first one a couple days ago, but I didn't watch the second one. But I remember that being closer. Timothy Bradley put in a good showing in that fight, too. But instead, the early rounds, just like this fight, he was looking good in the early rounds. Anyway, good performance by Bradley. He just, like I said, it wasn't enough. Pacquiao just knows what to do to beat Bradley, and the guy is the best fighter of this generation, in my opinion. He beat Mayweather with 1 arm. You could say he's the best ever, too. In my opinion, he is the best boxer ever, in my opinion. I think he's just watching him is just stuff. His speed, the power, combinations, the footwork, the everything. And what we seen today was the defense and the sharpness of his counters. The guy, he thinks in there, so I don't know why he doesn't just go on instinct. He thinks in there, and we've seen that in his last couple fights. He has tailored in his style a bit and made it more technically sound. Not relying more like back then. He relied more on his just overwhelming the guy. Now he's using his ring IQ, his experience, and his skills, and combining that with the right time when to use the aggressiveness to overwhelm the guy. Not just like back then. He was more like, he was younger, more like just would go in there and throw millions of punches, like thousands of punches. Now he conserves his energy as he's older and uses it at the right time. So Marquez KO maybe was a good thing that happened. He actually, because from every bad thing, a good thing happens, and Pacquiao turned that bad situation into a good one by tightening up his defense, becoming sharper, uh, and smarter in the ring, and it extended his career, I think, now too. Uh, he's turning 38 this year. I think November, right? November or December, I think. December, I think it's December. It's December or November. I think it's December though. And yeah, he was. It's prolonging his career the way he's fighting now. He's fighting more like I said. He's using his. He's more smart now. But I think if this is his last fight, he went out on a good note, because I did think he beat Mayweather too. So he did go on a good note. But if he is going to come back. And if he did, like Bob Arum says, fight Canelo and then fight Mayweather, if he actually did that and he beat both of them, like you gotta argue, like that's gonna raise his status even higher. You gotta say, if he beats Canelo and then beats Mayweather again, even though he didn't get the official decision against Mayweather, if he beats them, Canelo and Mayweather, I think it's gonna change a lot of people's mind and maybe put him as the best ever in people who don't think he's the best ever right now. That'd be incredible if he did that, but I think Canelo's too big. Canelo can't go even to 154 anymore, I don't think, or he doesn't want to. Pacquiao's never been above 150, I think, or 150. I think it's 150. But it was a catch weight of 150 with Margarito. So I really don't see Canelo coming down even further. He won't even go down. He would come down to maybe 54 to fight Pacquiao, but I don't think Pacquiao would fight him at 54. It's just too big. Canelo came down to 150, maybe we could talk, or 151 or something. 152 max. But, yeah, so if he does come back, he says he's going to think about it, see what's retired life first. So he's going to retire, I think, first. Then he might come back. Because if Mayweather's going to come back and they fight again, I think Pacquiao would do that, and it'll give him another opportunity to beat up Mayweather again, and this time do it even in a better fashion with a healthy, 100% healthy. So, and Mayweather can use his IV and all that; he'll still lose. But other than come back to fight Mayweather or Marquez in a fifth fight, there is really no point. There is fights out there. A lot of fights are kind of hard to make, though, like Keith Thurman. I think he could, like Sean Porter, I think that would be maybe hard to make, too. Adrian Broner, he could fight him, but there's really no point in that. It'd be good. It'd be a good promotion, I guess, Adrian Broner, but the skill level is just... Broner's nowhere near Pacquiao's level. Like I said, Keith Thurman would be good, but that's going to be hard to make because Al Haymon and all that. Sean Porter, I don't think they would fight, though, maybe. Kell Brook. Really, though, Manny Pacquiao has nothing more to prove against these young guys anymore. So, like I said, if he is going to come back, it's for Mayweather or second best option, Marquez. Other than that, there's really no point. No point in fighting Crawford anymore. Like I said, he can, but his legacy has been cemented already, and this cements it even more. I think this was a very important win for Pacquiao. Now that I think about it, I think it was a very smart move to pick Bradley as his opponent, because Bradley has only lost once, and that was to Pacquiao. So Bradley is one of the best welterweights out there, one of the best fighters out there, pound for pound. And for him to beat him, coming off of a long layoff, a shoulder injury, raises, like, it's a very important win for Pacquiao, and I think it was a smart move. Because if he fought Crawford, say, and he did beat Crawford, he wouldn't even get that much credit, really. Like, he'd get credit, but it wouldn't be, he's not proven yet, in my opinion, at the higher weights. Even, like, really, he beat Gamboa, that's his best person on his resume. Really, so Crawford has a lot more to prove. Pacquiao beat him. It wouldn't be that big as a deal. But what is. It wouldn't be a big as a deal as beating Bradley, because Bradley is proven and he's a pound for pound top fighter. So that puts cements Pacquiao's legacy even more, coming out on a good win like this, on a good note. So I think it was a smart move to fight Bradley, actually. Uh, and I think Pacquiao's going to get a lot of credit for this fight, because a lot of people were counting him out. Ever since Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez, they've been counting Pacquiao out. He's proven them wrong every single time. So anyway, good fight. Whoa. Good fight. This is my phone I'm recording with right now. It's actually, it was leaning up against this picture here, if you can see. Can you see that? I can't see if it's on it right. Picture of Manny Pacquiao, kind of like in a Bruce Lee pose, kind of. That's what I was leaning my phone camera on. Pretty good picture. Like I said, if you guys seen these pictures, Manny setting up the left hand on Mayweather, landing the left hand in that same exchange, I'm pretty sure. That pretty good pictures. But anyway, yeah, good fight by both fighters. Both fighters are respectable. Pretty tired right now. It's almost 4 o'clock, but yeah, it was a good fight. Good performance by Bradley. He tried his best. Pacquiao, great performance. Oh yeah, I didn't even really talk about the actual like punches landing and stuff. But Pacquiao dropped Bradley twice. The first knockdown was a knockdown, but it was more of Bradley got cornered and he had nowhere to go, and he dropped because he got hit with a right hook and left hand kind of. So. But he wasn't hurt, really, I don't think. Second knockdown, that was a more real, hard knockdown. He dropped clearly from a big left hand. Actually, my DVR on my computer, my DVR on my TV, sorry, it froze in that round that Pacquiao dropped him in the second time. So I missed it live. I missed him dropping Bradley live. I was mad because it froze. It was kind of freezing kind of there and then, but then it froze and then it stayed frozen. Then I had to go upstairs and get my laptop and go on a free stream to get it quickly. Then I switched the channel and switched it back on my DVR, and it worked. So yeah, like I said, I bought the fight. I always buy Pacquiao fights. I support him. He uses his money to help the people in his country, his countrymen, so it goes to a good cause. That's why I buy them. And he puts on a good show. It's always an exciting fight with Manny Pacquiao. I think the only fight that really was kind of boring was the Marquez 3 fight, but he wasn't himself in that fight. Jinky was going to divorce him, I think, before that fight because his gambling and his womanizing. So other than that, he's always an exciting fight. So Pacquiao, yeah, like I said, let me talk a bit more about the punches and what was being successful. Pacquiao's left hand was being successful from the very beginning. Not the very, very beginning, but the beginning of the first half of the fight. It started landing very good, straight left hand. Bradley's got a good chin, though. Took them well. Bradley never been stopped. Knocked down only, I forget how many times he's been knocked down, but I know Ruslan did knock him down. He took a knee. And he did get knocked down, actually, clearly, but the ref didn't call it in the Ruslan fight. But, yeah, I know he officially got knocked down before in the Ruslan fight, and in this fight he obviously got knocked down, and I forget early in his career if he ever got knocked down, but he has a good chin. Pacquiao's, he was shaking his right shoulder, actually, at the first half of the fight, and I was worried when he was doing that with his right arm. I was like, oh no, his shoulder hurt again, and I was kind of getting worried, but it seemed like he was holding up well. It seemed like, oh, okay, if he did hurt it, it seems like he's fighting through it, but apparently it was fine. He was actually just doing that to I guess fainting with it like that or something, or waiting for Bradley's counter for him to counter Bradley's counter left hook or something like that. He was saying in the post-fight interview, but yeah, so I was worried about that, but it seemed like it was okay. It wasn't hurt. He didn't say anything in the corner, so Pacquiao just looked really sharp with his defense tonight, like I said, and his counter punching and his timing and everything, and his explosive speed was on point. His reflexes were on point. Bradley was on point until he started losing. I think mentally he was getting frustrated and losing confidence, and I think that's when he started losing the fight even more. But I think he was trying. He was physically trying his best, but he was just getting, I think mentally he was getting frustrated that he wasn't winning like he thought he was going to win, kind of thing. But and then after the fight, Bradley and Pacquiao showed their respects, and apparently they're going to have lunch tomorrow at 11 a.m. I heard. I never see, you don't really see fighters talk that much like they were talking when Max was giving the interview to Pacquiao. They were both kind of ignoring Max and just having a whole full-on conversation about where they're going to meet and what time they're going to meet for lunch tomorrow, Pacquiao and Bradley. So, excuse me. So both fighters respect each other, and I like to see that. Like I said, Bradley's a top pound-for-pound fighter. He's an elite fighter, in my opinion. It's just Pacquiao is the greatest fighter of this generation and the greatest fighter ever, in my opinion. And so you can't take away anything from Bradley. He's, like I said, he's only lost to one man, and that's Pacquiao. So, and then Jim Lampley was kind of getting emotional too at the end of the telecast. He was talking about Pacquiao, saying this might be the last time we see him, and he was talking about how Pacquiao was coming off of the shoulder injury, the long layoff, the loss to Mayweather, and all that stuff was in his loss to Marquez, and then the decision before that he should have won against Bradley. So it was all kind of declining his career in a sense. It was all coming down. Like, it wasn't officially three of his losses, total losses of his career. He only has 6 losses, and 3 of them came in the last, was it 6 fights or something? He was talking about Jim Lampley. And it would have been bad if he lost tonight, because that would have definitely maybe ended his career. So he was kind of getting emotional about that, how Pacquiao rise to the occasion, came back from all that shoulder injury and the long layoff, and put on a great performance like this. That just shows you what a great fighter Pacquiao is, he was saying. And if this is the last fight we see him in, where we're going to miss him, he was kind of tearing up. His eyes were getting watery, and he was emotional about Pacquiao, talking about Pacquiao, and so that was good to see by Jim Lampley. He actually cares about boxing, and he likes boxing. He has his own show, so I like to see that. But anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the fight. Like I said, I thought it was a good fight, good performance by Bradley, great performance by Pacquiao, very sharp Pacquiao. Bradley he tried his best, came up short though, but can't take away anything from Bradley. Pacquiao's just one of the best, or if not the best ever, in my opinion, the best ever. And he's a special fighter. So yeah, let me know what you thought about the fight. Thanks for watching, and Power Up Boxing, powering down. See ya, guys.